sweeping to the lead in the final eighth of a mile, and a gallant display is away with the lead.
The world has arrived at Woodbine.
And Yates is going to go on and win the Vodafone Coronation Cup. It's going to be a photo finish, and in the wire, it's King's Drama.
Grace Swallow is going to win the Pattison Gold Cup.
And Electrocution is the latest run and nails it.
Today, the eyes of the horse racing world are focused squarely on Woodbine Racetrack and the world-renowned E.P. Taylor Turf Course for the $2 million Pattison Canadian International.
Yes, we just gave away $1 million in the E.P. Taylor Stakes. Now it's time to give away $2 million as we get set for edition number 68 of the Pattison Canadian International. If you're just joining us, you just missed a thriller of the E.P. Taylor variety. Still to come, though, one more for you on this very good grass course, and this time we go 1.5 miles. Now, for the first time today at Woodbine, in our last race, we got a chance to see exactly what the turf course was like in our route race. And it seems like, Jim, the horses, while it's a safe course, it's a course that still is a little bit on the deep side.
Well, Jeff, I think it's important that we talk about the E.P. Taylor Turf Course because it is certainly one of the attractions. People come for money. They certainly do that. They come for the Grade 1 status. They come for the prestige. But obviously they know they're going to get to run on a safe turf course, whether it has give to it or not. Our main concern as we see some divots here is that what about some of the big horses in the race today? Electrocutionist is rumored to want a fast turf, wants it quick, whereas Grace Swallow wants it just like it is now. I think the good news is we have seen a very close finish in the E.P. Taylor Stakes, which means horses are handling it well. So I think the good news for all involved is whether you like it firm or whether you like it with give to it, you're going to get a turf course that you can handle today. And I think that's good news for the backers of Electrocutionist.
A field of 10 will line up for the richest race in Canadian thoroughbred history, with the exception of the Breeders' Cup races that were held here in 1996. We have 4 from Europe, 3 from the United States, and 3 from Canada. This is truly an international field.
An outstanding international field, which includes many with wins at the highest level, will compete for $2 million in the Pattison Canadian International. Electrocutionist heads the European invaders. His developing form at home in Italy was emphatically verified this summer in the Group 1 Juddmonte International at York in England. Yates is one of 2-star runners here from Ireland and made a successful spring raid to win at Epsom in the prestigious Group 1 Coronation Cup. He competes for Europe's top money winners, trainer Aidan O'Brien and jockey Kieran Fallon. Grace Swallow, also from Ireland, has done his best running at home with a long-shot victory in the 2004 Irish Derby, followed by a key win this spring in the Group 1 Tattersall's Gold Cup at the direct expense of last year's ARC winner, Bago. The final European representative is the German-based Simonis, who makes a return trip to Woodbine after a thrilling second-place finish in last year's edition behind the top-rated Suleimani. King's Drama is the most accomplished of the 3 American-based visitors and captured the Grade 1 sword dancer this summer at Saratoga. He arrives in better current form than when he disappointed here last year. Also in from New York is former Irish-based runner Relaxed Gesture, who recently raced in the shadow of King's Drama in narrow losses in both the Sword Dancer and Man o' War. Like the other 2 United States-based runners, Meteor Storm was also formerly based in Europe. He captured New York's Grade 1 Manhattan Stakes last year, but was eclipsed this summer by both King's Drama and Relaxed Gesture. Struck the stage as the most first from the home side, a 7-time stakes winner for Sampson Farm, which has twice won this race. He showed a glimpse of his former class when second last month in the Grade 2 Niagara. Jambalaya is the lone sophomore in the field and gets to carry 7 pounds less than his elders. He captured the final jewel in Canada's Triple Crown, the Breeders' Stakes, and then underlined his class with a triumph in the Grade 3 Saranac at Saratoga. Last Answer, a stakes winner at this time last year, has as his most recent reference a 4th place finish in the Grade 2 Sky Classic behind A Bit of Gold, who is headed for the Breeders' Cup Classic in New York. International runners of the highest order with champion jockeys and trainers from around the globe seek top honors in this year's Pattison Canadian International.
The weather for the most part today, it's been a light, steady drizzle, but right now, knock on wood, the rain has stopped, and that's great news. Here's a look at the odds situation. These are the morning line odds for this year's Pattison Canadian International. Electrocutionist has been installed as the morning line favorite at odds of 2-1. King's Drama will look to give John Velasquez back-to-back stakes victories here on the program, and Yates gets the services of Kieran Fallon and will start from post position number 9. Plenty more still to come on this special edition of Racing on the Score. The Pattison Canadian International coverage continues after these messages. Thanks for making us a part of your Sunday.
I had a really good time tonight.
Me too. Smell great longer, stay out later with new Red Zone After Hours body spray.
Have a nice day, ladies. Good morning, Mr. Fisher. Good morning, Mr. Ryan. Good morning, Miss Keaton. Good night, Mr. Morgan.
Smell great longer, stay out later with new Red Zone After Hours body spray.
Insert disc now. Insert disc now.
He's the smartest dad in the world. Because he registered for Pampers Gifts to Grow. Each purchase of Pampers diapers and training pants earns points for free educational toys. Because learning new things is a baby's favorite thing to do. When you see the world as a baby does,
great, let's play.
The rewards are endless. Get details and register too at pampers.com.
Hey, Ed. Check this out. Nice. Think that's a good idea? Why not?
Ice cold Coors Light, the silver bullet.
Wow, you feel that? We're getting a workout today.
Tell me about it.
Look alive, guys! Hit it!
Zoom, zoom.
All in favor of a car that drives like this and looks like that. Raise your hair. Wow. The 2006 Mazda 6 sedan, part of the award-winning Mazda 6 family.
2000, whenever I read this news, that was one of the sweetest feelings, especially coming on the lane.
And Williams News on the outside has taken the lead for Patrick Husbands. Mutafawek tries to fight back, but they're running out of ground here. Williams News or Mutafawek, the Turlin hit the wire in a photo finish in the Canadian International. Williams News and Mutafawek.
When they no battle, actually what it was, one of the world's greatest, where everybody recommend Frankie. You know what I mean? And straight after the ride night, actually, I know he win it. So he gave me a hug, I shared back a hug with him. It was a great feeling. And then 3 minutes later, I had a call back Frankie telling that he win the race, and that was like a disaster. And up to this day, I would go to my grave saying I win that race, you know, but I say pictures don't tell lies, but I feel from my heart that picture tells lies, you know. So every time the international come around, that's a slap in my face, you know. And as long as I ride in, that's one race I want to win at Woodbine.
Very tough loss for Williams News back in the 2000 Pattison Canadian International, won by Mutafawek. You know, Renee, it doesn't seem to matter where horses come from. If you have some talent and some heart, you can do some damage in a race like this.
No question, Jeff. And while our racing roots are right here at Woodbine, if you've ever had the chance to go over to England or France and ride out or watch the horses train, then you know that there is a world of difference between the training methods of European versus North American trainers. And while the ultimate goal is indeed winning, here's a look at how these horses are quite differently prepared on opposite sides of the Atlantic. It's a well-known fact that in North America we train on racetracks, and on average 3 staff members take care of 1 horse. A groom to care for the animal, the rider to exercise him, and the hot walker to cool him out. In Europe, they have different methods.
There's a lot of the racing stables in England especially where the exercise rider does everything. He does all the grooming, does all the box cleaning, and looks after the horses as well. They're riding exercise on the one horse for maybe 1 hour in the morning. They might ride 3 horses in the morning, and that's it, finished. Whereas in North America, you could probably go down about 8 or 9 horses in the morning.
Most trainers have their own yard, a stable yard with anything from 60 boxes to a couple of 100 boxes on a couple of different areas. And they would train specifically from there. It's totally private. And obviously the gallops are public, but everyone has more or less their time schedule where they would go out and exercise, you know.
Our training centre, we're based in Newmarket, which is probably the headquarters of racing in England. We walk about half a mile to get to the gallops every morning. I mean, it's completely different to Woodbine. Here, everything's trained on the track every day.
Our yards, there is a nice walk to go to the training centre, which is about just over 2 miles to get up there. And I think it's very nice because you get the horses to warm up properly and to cool down after you've been cantering them.
Trainers in Europe do tend to like to train with hill work, if you like, a bit of a climb. And that tends to obviously build more muscle all round in general, and obviously on the back end where the power is. They don't necessarily go through the streets or the cities, but they have a lot of areas where they go for a walk afterwards and relax in the woods, you know.
They're all straights. There's a few gallops up a hill. You can train on all-weather surface, and there's turf gallops, vast amount of turf gallops which you can use as well. There's no dirt training at all.
We, for the most part, train left around an oval with no hills whatsoever. North American philosophy is to gallop older horses on their own so that they don't get too aggressive and are able to relax, whereas our European counterparts...
We seldom work horses on their own, so therefore they're used to it from early days. Around about 30-35 horses in a set, and they would be out for, think about an hour and a quarter.
We just keep alternating them on the leads so that any horse will learn to go in front and will learn to be behind without pulling too much. They are used to stay all together in the nature, so we believe that they feel much more comfortable staying all together.
Obviously we concentrate on getting them to relax. When you're racing, you know they're there to race, but they're more manageable in the early part of the race, you know.
It's all about the horses you've got. You can't put ability there, so as long as they're happy in their mind, it doesn't matter where you are, really, to be honest with you.
Six-Spiel looms large as they come to the top of the lane, and Chief Bidhart, voluntary, absolutely awesome.
So while the training tactics do vary around the globe, as far as European rider Mick Kinnan, he might be from Europe, but his riding talent and his skill is definitely renowned throughout the globe as far as some of the big races that he has won. And right now, Mick Kinnan, who will ride the favorite electrocutionist in the big race, is with Sandy Hawley.
Mick, we just come out of a feature where it showed North American style training and European style training. Do you think that gives your horse an edge here being a European today?
Not necessarily, but this is probably one of the very favourable track for European horses going this distance, and so I don't think it would give any advantage really to either. So it's more of a level playing field. I think track conditions have probably bringing a few ace and Grey Swallow into play with the rain that softened the track a bit. So I would prefer that a shade quicker. But my fella has won on a soft track before, and he put up a very good performance when he won the Juddmonte International at York, getting up to beat Zeno Robroi in the Japan Cup winner. So mine's a high-class colt. He's had a fresh sparing. He's been raced sparingly this term, and he's only racing for his 4th time. And sat in him last week. He seems in good shape before he shipped out. So hopefully a big run.
Well, you definitely know this race. In 2002, you won with Ballingarry. Your mount electrocutionist here today. A little bit of a soft turf out there. How's he going to handle that?
He's won on it. I would have preferred a quicker surface for him, but I think he's pretty adaptable. He's won on every sort of ground, and I'll be disappointed if it affects him, but because he's tough and he's genuine.
All right, Mick. Good luck in here today.
Thank you.
That's it from the jockeys room.
Okay, Sandy, right now that one's on the tote board as the 2-to-1 money line choice, and it's just like golfing somewhat here in horse racing. If you make a divot, you have to replace it. The turf course will be all set for action for the Pattison Canadian International shortly. When we come back, we'll meet some of the horses.
And she was like, what? So I was like, yeah.
And she was like, no. And then he was
If Mike brings along his girlfriend du jour,
like, get out. So I was like, whatever.
it better be Gibson's.
Good food, good company, good conversation. Put it together at Kelsey's. And come in right now and try some great seasonal taste for the whole family from our new flavors of fall menu. Kelsey's, your table's ready.
Introducing Harvey's new grilled steak sandwich. Delicious. Real marinated steak garnished fresh on a toasted panini bun. One of 5 new toasted sandwiches at Harvey's.
Introducing the all-new 2006 Impala. With over 1,000 refinements and available with a powerful 303 horsepower small block V8. It's a whole new animal. Chevrolet Impala, for all life's roads.
Adnan Burke back in the Score Studios. Colts taking on the Texans. Peyton Manning trying to lead his Colts to the first 7-0 start in franchise history. The D was bringing it. The fumble, and it's Monte Rieger taking it all the way. 37-yard fumble return as the Colts win it, 38-21. They remain undefeated, and the Houston Texans remain winless, 0-6, as Manning was 21-27 for 237. Edgerrin James, 139 yards on the ground. Just a reminder, NFL Blitz coming up with myself and Ryan Payton right at 5 Eastern here on The Score. Back to more horse racing.
In 1999, I rode Thornfield International, and he was in just perfect condition that day. Phil England trained him, and he just had him right on target.
Gaining ground with every stride. Here comes Thornfield. Thornfield has taken a brief lead on the outside. Fruits of Love. It is Thornfield at the 16th pole. An incredible finish. It is Canada's Thornfield. A sensational win here. Thornfield, the upset winner in the Canadian International.
They had one speed horse come in from England, and he opened up like 4 or 5 on the field. And then I was just in behind him in the next bunch there. And it was sort of like one of those perfect trips, you know, and just Thornfield relaxed for me, and that was the big key with him, you know, and he just sat there, and turning into the lane, I looked back because I knew I had the horse in front, and then all of a sudden he just gobbled him up, and next minute he was 3 in front, and the wire was coming, so a lot of screaming going on then.
The classy Thornfield for a classy guy. Richard Ramos got the win there. Phil England was the conditioner, owned by Steve Stavros, Nob Hill Farm Stable. Wow, what a great finish that was back in 1999. And Renee, it's hard to believe that it's been all the way back to 1999 when a Canadian horse won this race. But since the calendar changed to the year 2000, it's been a European dominance here at Woodbine.
Oh, you know what? It has been tough, and one of the horses that's going to try and change that is Jambalaya. He's going to be ridden by Jono Jones. He's actually a native of Barbados, but he's made his home base here at Woodbine for the past few years. And what a sensational season Jono's having. He rides 2 of the best horses on this circuit. A Bit of Gold is headed to the Breeders' Cup, and he rides Jambalaya this afternoon. But Jono is also known as a man of few words. He lets the horses do the talking on the racetrack, and when his day at the office is over, home is where the heart is.
Jambalaya by 6, Jambalaya by 7, Jambalaya and Jono Jones win the Breeders' Stakes by a massive margin.
2005 has been a banner year for jockey Jono Jones. Like any rider, the track is his life. But for the laid-back native of Barbados, home and family is where he finds his balance.
As you can see, I don't really have too many horse racing photos in here. You know, when I come home, I try not to bring the day's events home. For me, it's a great feeling to be a father, you know? I mean, you have something to come look forward to every day after races, and it's great.
But it does help having a spouse in the business. Wife Sarah, also from Barbados, gallops horses for trainer Mike Doyle. The couple are the proud parents of 15-month-old Indy.
And Jono's a very good dad. You know, he loves to play with Indy, and he likes his quiet time too, but certainly he's a very good father. You know, he is a good helping hand for me because I have her all day. I work from 5:30 and by 10:30 I'm back home.
At Woodbine, Jones is a renowned turf specialist who knows all the angles of the E.P. Taylor turf course. But in his native Barbados, Jones is an angler of a different sort.
Everybody has a past, a sport, whatever. That's my love. I love to go fishing. I love to be out there on the ocean. Sailing, fishing, you know, anything out on the ocean I love.
Which begs the question, is there a common link between fishing and horse racing?
Fishing, you need lots and lots of patience, you know. Sometimes you're out there a whole day and you catch nothing. You got to get it the next day and go again and try again. Whereas racing is the same thing. You go sometimes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, you don't win a race. And you still got to get up and go and try your hardest every day, you know.
The waters at Woodbine have been kind to Jones. In the past 2 years, he's hooked a pair of big-time stakes horses.
A bit of gold in John Jones to win the Breeders' Stakes.
A bit of gold. You go on sprinting, you go on every distance. You run him on grass, soft grass, hard grass, dirt, softy dirt. And he always tries his best and he always wins.
Today, the focus will be on budding turf superstar Jambalaya. After winning the Breeders' Stakes, Jones and Jambalaya shipped to historic Saratoga.
The most amazing thing for me was the amount of people that were there, you know, and the noise they made, and it was great.
Into the final 100 yards, Silver Whistle and Jambalaya straining with every stride. Here's the wire. Too close to call, noses up and down.
It was pretty awesome because I didn't know if I'd won, you know, it was close. And pulling up, I heard the crowd scream out, so I said, well, nobody knows me, so it can't be for me. And then it came back and realized it was me. You know, I was very happy. The last race he ran was in Saratoga, so it's been quite a while, but he hasn't missed any training. He's been breezing every 10 days and so on, so should be fit enough and good to go for this Canadian race.
So Jono Jones and Jambalaya are looking for their 5th win in a row on the grass. He has been spectacular since stepping onto the turf. Looking to be the 13th 3-year-old to win this race and the first to do it since Phoenix Reach in 2003. Jeff, so he's got some big shoes to live up to.
And Renee, it looks like we do have some homer money going in on Jambalaya right now because this is by far his toughest task to date. He right now is on the tote board at 11-1, by far the lowest price of the Canadian horses. The other Canadian horses are start the stage at 34-1 and Last Answer at 60-1. The favorite is Electrocutionist at 9-5. Gray Swallow should love the turf course the way it is today. Right now it's 7-2. Also taking some money at odds of 4-1 is Yates. The Pattison Canadian International is set for action shortly, but before we get the horse into the starting gates, we'll take a glance at them in the walking ring next.
Tired of cleaning your dishes after cleaning your dishes? Get a better dishwashing pack. Only Cascade 2-in-1 action packs combine the scrubbing power of Cascade with the grease-fighting power of Dawn for a difference you can really see. Cascade 2-in-1 action packs. Now that's clean.
Insert disc now. Insert disc now.
He's the smartest dad in the world. Because he registered for Pampers Gifts to Grow. Each purchase of Pampers diapers and training pants earns points for free educational toys. Because learning new things is a baby's favorite thing to do. When you see the world as a baby does,
Great, let's play.
the rewards are endless. Get details and register too at pampers.com.
Mother tells me you think you're in love.
Yep.
Or is it just like all the others?
Nope.
I like him.
Introducing Harvey's new grilled steak sandwich. Real marinated steak garnished fresh on a toasted panini bun. One of 5 new toasted sandwiches at Harvey's.
Adnan Burke back in the Score Studios, back to Woodbine in just a moment. But first, an NFL update for you. The Rams taking on the Saints. The Rams right now with Jamie Martin as their starting quarterback due to Mark Bulger's injury. And this time they used a bit of trickery. Steven Jackson goes to Kevin Curtis, and he flies his way in for the touchdown. The St. Louis Rams right now are up 28-17. They're at 2-4. Yet 2 games back for top spot. The Saints at 2-4. They're in last right now in their division. Right now, let's head back to more horse racing here on The Score.
We're about 22 minutes away from the 68th edition of the Pattison Canadian International. The purse for this race, it's huge, $2 million. And one of the main reasons why that purse is so possible is because we have a great sponsor here at Woodbine. The Pattison Outdoor Advertising Group does such a great job with us here, providing us with some necessary funds to make this race a real success. And Renee, it's always great to have a great team with us here at Woodbine and some outside members making our team even better.
Well, that can only be good for racing, Jeff. And right now with me is Randy Otto, and you are the president of Pattison Outdoor Advertising. And this is the third year with Woodbine that you've been associated with this big race. How did it all get started, Randy?
Well, Renee, we've been associated with Woodbine for a number of years as an advertiser, and we were very pleased a little over 3 years ago when they came to us and asked us if we would be a sponsor of the Canadian International, which was a great honor for us. So it's great to be here. It's great to be associated with the race.
And what's exciting is that you've signed on for another 2 years as well.
We have. We're very excited to be able to sign on for at least another 2 years to support Woodbine and this great race. So we're very pleased to be able to do that.
It's a great day for racing, and we're not going to let the weather get us down, are we, Randy?
Absolutely not. I understand there are some horses who love the wet weather, and so I think it's going to be a great race. Absolutely, the weather isn't going to be a problem.
Well, thank you for being a part of providing us with such a terrific racing event.
Well, it's our pleasure.
Jeff, there you have it. We're signed on for another 2 years for the Pattison Canadian International.
Perfect. Let's update the odds one more time for racing fans as Electrocutionist continues to be on the board at 9-5. Jambalaya still at 11-1. King's Drama looking to give John Velasquez his second consecutive stakes win here at Woodbine. He won the EP Taylor Stakes a couple of races back with Honey Rider for trainer Todd Pletcher. So in total, a field of 10 will line up for this year's edition of the Pattison Canadian International. And really we have horses coming from a slew of different directions. And we'll meet the field right now, and we'll kick it off with a live look at some of the horses here as they get set for action. The 3 is Electrocutionist. And right now, this one is the favorite. Jim at odds of 8-5. Is trained by Valfredo Valiena. And this one has raced in Great Britain and in Italy.
Yes, the races in Italy certainly were very significant, and now the horses obviously come back to England to validate that class. We're looking now at the number 1 horse, Simonis, who is an Irish-bred horse, and he has been racing in Germany the past while. And he ran in this race last year, and you can't say that he was an unlucky second. He made his move, he just wasn't good enough.
And Simonis so far this year, Jim, just one win, and actually got that win through disqualification.
Yes, he did, and it was just early in the summertime at Hamburg in Germany. Most recently, he was in Cologne to compete, and he ran a very good race there, and he certainly is accustomed to competing in footing, like the footing he will encounter today.
And this horse that we're looking at right now is Grey Swallow, and he should really enjoy the Giving Turf course.
This is his, obviously his road game, and he has competed in some big events. He has taken 2 of European signature events, the Irish Derby. That came on a bit of a good to firm ground. But then he won the Tattersall's Gold Cup, and he beat quite a good field that had behind him 3 of the more significant members of the European horse colony. One of them was Bago, who was a Arc de Triomphe winner. He also had Ace behind him, who's come to North America to run well, and Azamur, who won the King George, was behind him that day.
The 3 is Electrocutionist, right now at odds of 8-5. I saw this horse schooling Jim on Friday, and he has the biggest feet I think I've ever seen.
He's had some very good days here at Woodbine. He spends about 2 hours out on the track. He has come out, he has walked the turf, he has galloped the turf, he has gone to the starting gate, and essentially he just looks like he's really trained forwardly for this. I thought when he first came, he didn't like the turf course here because I thought it was too stinging for him, but I think he'll probably handle what we have today quite efficiently.
Up next is the 4, right now at 10-1. This is Relaxed Jester, a 2-time winner and 6 starts so far this year, and has been very consistent as well.
Well, the 3 horses that we have coming from the United States are all venturing here from recent action in New York, and they all have this in common. They're European horses that weren't quite good enough over there, and now they're here. And someone may ask, well, how come they weren't good enough there, but they're good enough to be top-rated horses here? Well, you have several reasons. Medication is certainly one of them, and obviously the thinner competition.
Jambalaya is the 5. This one, of course, the hero of the Breeders' Stakes, the third jewel of Canada's Triple Crown earlier this season. But Jim, this is by far his toughest test to date.
The oddity is that he is bred by Gustav Schickedance and cost just $2,500 at an auction. Catherine Day Phillips picked them out, had actually followed him because he was a Canadian bred. Now he is a graduate of the Canadian Triple Crown, and we've seen many members of the Canadian Triple Crown go through this race and do well, including Chief Bearheart, who also won the Breeders and the Canadian International.
A real good-looking horse in this race, looks-wise, is the 6th last answer.
Well, he is also bred by Gustav Schickedance. This is one he kept. He's by the same sire as Jambalaya, and this is Langfure. Langfure was a tremendous Grade 1 horse based at Woodbine, but running in New York. And he's getting all kinds of good turf runners this season. He's just a one-time turf winner, and that came in the Chief Bearheart, and that was last year. So essentially, he's struggling a bit and below the top notch.
King's Drama is the 7, and this horse last year finished 5th in this race, but Jim, this year seems to be a little bit better.
A very different picture. Last year, he was at the end of his form cycle. He needed surgery. He's back. He's fresher. He's better this year. He's been competing against the best in New York, and he had an opportunity to go to the Breeders' Cup, but he elected to come here.
One horse who may find this turf course not to his liking today is a Canadian representative. This is Strut the Stage.
He's actually looked very good in his gallops this week, but Mark Frostad, who has won this race before with Chief Bearheart, has essentially kept him on the dirt. And so a giving turf course obviously can present problems if you're not agile in it. Europeans get more of an opportunity to run in that type of footing than North Americans do, for the simple reason that when it gets like this, the races come off the turf. Not the case today in an important stake race, however.
What about Yates? This horse has raced in Great Britain and in Ireland, and now will be racing in Canada for the very first time.
Well, Aidan O'Brien, who is the top-ranked trainer in Ireland, he's done very well in England this year also, has essentially discovered this race and comes on a regular basis now, and he's won it before with Ballingarry. They're the dominant force. His Ballydoyle stable representing Coolmore, Mrs. Magnier, and also Michael Tabor. They had a great day on Arc Day in Paris, and they're looking for a big day here at Woodbine.
And the 10 is the final horse in the field. This is Meteor Storm. Javier Castellano rides this one for Wally DeLasse. No stranger to success here at Woodbine. He won with Good Journey in the Adel Mile not all that long ago.
And this horse won last year in the Manhattan in New York. And he is from a dam that is a full sister to Rain Trap, who won this event. The first year it was run on the E.P. Taylor turf in '94.
So that is the starting lineup for today's Pattison Canadian International. Never in the race's history has a female trainer ever won this race, but Sandy, Catherine Day Phillips, is hoping to change things here today.
That's right, Rob. Catherine, originally it was a bit of gold that was going to run in this race, and you've opted to go to the Breeders' Cup Classic with him, but you now have Jambalaya in this big race.
Actually, we had nominated both horses to this race. Jambalaya being his preferred distance, more towards 1.5 miles. And probably a softer turf would be more to his suiting. A bit of gold as the race approached, and we looked at the competition. I had serious concerns over the distance and the class that he was going to be facing. So hence we found an easier spot in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Well, I saw him here in the paddock. He looks dynamite and ready to go. Good luck.
Thank you, Sandy. He's in good order. Thank you.
Back to you, Jeff.
Okay, Sam, and the 5 Jambalaya right now at odds of 12-1. When we come back, the horses will be on post-parade for you to take another glance at them. Still the favorite as we speak is Electrocutionist at odds of 7-5. You're watching the Pattison Canadian International right here on The Score.
If you just found out your waterproof tent isn't, it better be Gibson's.
Why go so far as to equip a sedan with available 235 horsepower V6, electronic stability control, and Shiftronic transmission? Because instead of cutting corners, we'd rather take them. The all-new, highly agile 2006 Sonata. You've never seen a Hyundai like this before.
Imagine one tool that would help you do this, and this, and this. There is one. It's Home Card. Use Home Card at any home hardware and home building center to help with purchases and projects. And right now, during our absolutely no fee event, pay no administration fees and choose the payment plan. Do not pay for 6 months or make 12 equal payments. Apply for your Home Card today. Only from Home Hardware and Home Building Center.
Good food, good company, good conversation. Put it together at Kelsey's. And come in right now and try some great seasonal taste for the whole family from our new flavors of fall menu. Kelsey's, your table's ready.
Jason? Jason Miller?
Mrs. Miller. Hey, Mom.
Oh, hey. Yeah, You boys should try something else for a change.
Honey Garlic's back for a limited time. Our Honey Garlic Quarter Chicken Dinner starts from a sweet price of $6.99.
Food you can feel good about.
You gonna eat that roll, Mrs. M?
Swiss chalet.
And she was like, what? So I was like, yeah. And she was like, no. And then he was
If Mike brings along his girlfriend du jour,
we were like, get out. So I was like, whatever.
it better be Gibson's.
Welcome back to Woodbine as we get set to bring you the Pattison Canadian International. Here's a look at the 1.5 mile circumference here at Woodbine. We start right in front of the grandstand and we finish at exactly the same points. This turf course is 1.5 miles in length. It's the longest stretch in North America. It's 1,440 feet. A record purse of $2 million is available to the top 5 finishers. The winner will receive a $1.2 million. And the third place finisher still picks up a nice check of $220,000. So just getting into the top 3 in a race like this is huge. Here is Electrocutionist. Has not run, Jim, since August the 16th when competing in the Judd Martin International Stakes, winning that day by a neck. In fact, the same angle worked last year for a horse by the name of Suleimani, who had some time away from the races and came here to the Pattison Canadian International and won. But the connections of this horse, they elected to skip a very significant race in Europe to go here instead.
Well, they had 2 races in mind. They had the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe in Paris, and they had next Saturday's Breeders' Cup Turf. That seemed to be the wishes of the trainer, Valfredo Valiani. But owner Earl Mack is quite familiar with Woodbine. He campaigned a Horse of the Year here in Peatski, and he opted for this event in the likelihood that he would get a firmer turf course. Wouldn't you know it, the rain has come and we now have a soft turf course.
Here's a look at Jambalaya and Jono Jones. Now, Jim, why is it that 3-year-olds have actually done pretty well in this race in the past?
In this race, we use the European scale of weights, which accords 3-year-olds a bigger spread in the weights.
So that's the case here. This horse does carry less weight and right now is on the board at odds of 11-1. As we take a look at some of the other horses in this race, right now, as you can see the topo on the left-hand side of the screen, the favorite right now at 8-5 is the 3, and there's a look at the 7 right now at odds of 6-1. And this one will start from a decent post position here today, and I think that's very significant. This horse's name, by the way, is King's Drama, and King's Drama is coming off a 2nd place finish in behind Better Talk Now. And Jim, that horse will be competing next weekend in the Breeders' Cup Turf.
Right, trying to do well again at the Breeders' Cup. John Velasquez, you see, is the rider. He's the top rated rider in all of the United States, and he won earlier today in the EP Taylor Stakes with Honey Rider.
The 9 is Yates at 4-1, and Yates gets the services of that guy right there. That is Kieran Fallon. And this guy is hoping to have some success here today at Woodbine. And hopefully for his connection's sake, this one can make it a great trip to Canada, as this one's racing at Woodbine and in North America for the very first time. Jim, how about a look at the entire field on post parade? And here's a look at what is pretty unique here at Woodbine when we get the Pattison Canadian International. During post parade, you get some of the Europeans without the ponies, and here we get the North American horses with the ponies beside them.
This is Simonis, and this is an Irish bred. Irish bred horses have done very well in this race. He's a German raced horse. Gary Tanaka owns one of 2 in here, and this is one of them. Andreas Wohler, a German-based conditioner, handles this one, and this horse was 2nd in this race last year. Eduardo Pedroza will do the riding. Currently on the board right now at 19-1. The number 2 is Grey Swallow. This one is owned by the Murray Rose Bloodstock and Mrs. Marguerite Weld. That's the mother of the trainer, Dermot Weld. He's currently Ireland's top race-winning trainer, and Pat Smullen, who is Ireland's top race-winning leader at the moment. Not in money, just in wins. The number 3 is Electrocutionist. This one goes for Earl Mack. He's the U.S. ambassador to Finland. Valfredo Valiani is the trainer. He's based in Italy, and Mick Kinane, who rode Ballingarry to win this race, is aboard. The number 4 is Relaxed Gesture, and the trio here of Moigler stud Christophe Clement and Corey Nakatani won earlier today in the Silks in the Arctic Stakes with Steel Light. The number 5 horse coming along is Canada's Jambalaya for the Kingfield Racing Stable, Catherine Day Phillips and Jono Jones, and they'll be represented next week in the Breeders' Cup Classic with a bit of gold. The number 6 is Last Answer, and there's Corey Fraser riding. He was last year's champion apprentice in Canada. Mike Keogh is the trainer. Gustav Schickendance, who bred this one, and Jambalaya, is the owner. The number 7 is King's Drama. Gary Nakatani owns this one along with Simonis. Robert Frankel, the Hall of Famer, is the conditioner, and John Velasquez is the jockey. There's Strut the Stage, one of Canada's favorites. Samson Farm is the owner. They've twice won this race. And Mark Frostad, who had Chief Bearhard in '97, is the trainer. Have Todd Cable as the jock. There's Yates, and Yates is owned by Mrs. John Magnier and David Nagel. Aidan O'Brien, who has the most purse money in Europe, is the trainer. Kieran Fallon rides. And here's the number 10. This is Meteor Storm for the Ryzen Stable. Wally Delassie and Javier Castellano. Quite a field.
Meteor Storm right now a big price as we speak. Anything can happen in the sport of horse racing, as we know. And you know, sometimes when you look at a race like the Pattison Canadian International, it can be really tricky for horse players to try and figure out exactly where horses are coming from. So we've grabbed some video for you, Jim, to try and tell racing fans exactly how horses got to this point.
Well, sure, Jeff, a lot of these horses raced in Europe, and a lot of them go left-handed, a lot of them go right-handed. Right now we're looking at the Juddmonte International, and we're looking at a horse called Electrocutionist, who is the favorite. To his immediate right on the screen is Japan's Horse of the Year, that's Zenon Robroy. This is the race Suleimani used last year, and you'll notice on the outside, Electrocutionist is getting up at a distance that's 300 meters shorter than today's Pattison Canadian International. So that's good news. He'll like the extra distance. You're looking at Grey Swallow right now in the Tattersalls Good Gold Cup. This is at the Curragh. And this race is also at 1 mile and 5/16. He beats Bago, last year's ARC winner, and Ace and Asmer are behind him as well. Another one to take a look at is Simonis last year in this race. He's got about 1/8 of a mile to go. He puts away a horse called King's Drama down on the inside and opens up. But wouldn't you know, it's Suleimani, who was the top-ranked horse in Europe at that juncture, that comes to beat him at the last instant. Let's go down to Saratoga to the Sword Dancer, and this is King's Drama along the inside. He's got his hands full with Relaxed Gesture on the outside. Meteor Storm falling back in third, and then farther back at the finish. Good grade one there. And this is Yates. This is the Coronation Cup. This is at Epsom, so the Irish form proved itself. Slow-paced race. Yates is pretty good, and what's important about this race, he beats back into second a horse called Alcaced, who's on to the Breeders' Cup turf in New York next week. So you can see that by these visuals, horses from all over the world with different styles, but high accomplishments at the best level, have come to Woodbine today.
So the favorite last year, Suleimani, won this race after a victory in the Juddmonte International Stakes. Can Electrocutionist follow in his footsteps? Stay tuned to find out. We're off the Pattison International next.
It burns everything black.
Leaky.
Creaky.
Unsafe.
Unstable. Won't whistle.
Won't stop whistling.
Skips. Drips.
Loses air. Loses time.
Too hot.
Too slow.
Doesn't suck.
It just sucks.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Robert.
How's it going?
Rough. You got any ideas?
Yeah, I think I do.
The new Mastercraft Maximum Speed Ratchet Set from Canadian Tire. It's built on the revolutionary twist ratchet design. Twisting the handle like a screwdriver turns the ratchet continuously. No sweep required. A quick adjustment, and it's a crank wrench too. And with its hole-through design, no bolt is too long. It comes with a set of dual sockets that work on both standard and metric fasteners. And it includes adapters so you can use it with your regular sockets. Plus, the low-profile socket gets you into all kinds of tight spots.
The Speed Ratchet Set, with Mastercraft Maximum quality and a lifetime guarantee. Now just $49.99. Now that's different, and only at Canadian Tire.
Nice. Do you mind if I borrow it?
You sure?
Use
long as I get to have it back once in a while.
Adnan and Burke back in the Score studios after being mocked by everyone for the Love Boat scandal. The Minnesota Vikings were routed on Sunday. Today, they're taking on the Green Bay Packers in a key matchup in the North Division. It comes down to the finale, and from 56 yards out, Paul Ettinger, the former Chicago Bear who didn't play very well last week, and the Vikings win it 23-20 on the most astounding play of this NFL weekend. Brett Favre and the Pack, 28-36, 315 and 2 TDs, but the Vikes win this one.
The horses are on the EP Taylor turf course as we get set for the Pattison Canadian International. Meteor Storm right now a big price on the board, odds of 12-1. And Renee, this horse hasn't won yet this season, but has been close.
Yeah, maybe just getting a little bit unlucky. And right now, Jeff, I'm with Amy DeLassy. She's the assistant for her father, Wally. They won the Addo Mile here, so they know what type of horse it takes to win on this grass. But Meteor Storm without a victory this season, Amy, do you think that maybe today could be the reckoning for him?
Well, we sure hope so. I mean, this would be a great day to, get your first victory. But the horse is training well, and he's run really well his past 2 races, so we're expecting a good performance today.
The big question for all the horses here is how are they going to handle the footing now that we've had the rain that we did last night?
Yeah, I mean, the turf course is pretty firm, so, sure, it's going to, affect them a little bit. But this horse is run in Europe, and he's run well, and, he's sharp, so we expect, he should be okay over it, hopefully. Yeah.
And you're at 12-1 on the board, and we've had a lot of long shots come in today, so good luck, Amy.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, Jeff.
12-1 right now is Meteor Storm. At odds of 7-2 is 9, and this is Yates. And Jim, how's this horse looking pre-race?
I'm just taking a look at him as he makes his way up, and I think he's a little bit edgy right now. He's staying away by himself there. He's a beautiful horse, and he goes for connections that have dominated Irish racing the last many years. Michael Tabor, who is usually part owner of the horses sent out by O'Brien, had a wonderful day winning 3 Group 1 races on Arc Day. 2 of those trained by O'Brien, one by Andre Faub. And it looks like he's going to have a handler just come and grab him here and bring him up to the gate just to settle him a little bit, walk alongside him, and I think that's very smart because he's just a touch edgy compared to the rest.
King's Drama is the 7 at 5-1, and this horse has really turned things around so far this season. Now pace, it's significant in a race like this, Jim, and this horse should be a pace setter. What do you think the early splits are going to be like in this race?
I think they'll be slow, and I don't think any of these horses will be in a rush whatsoever. And if that's the case, I think the number 3 horse, Electrocutionist, can go up there and do it. But I think if it's an extremely slow pace, then probably I think Yates would like to be up there being nice and quiet.
Electrocutionist is a very versatile horse, can set the pace if need be, Jim.
Yeah, he's got tactical speed, and I've been impressed with his work here this week. He's done a lot. He's a gradual horse. He's not what we think of a typical European horse that can quicken. He'll stay, and he'll get there, but he can't do it as quick as some of the others.
The guy standing by with the microphone to call his 20th Pattison Canadian International is track announcer Dan Loisel. Danny, get tied on. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It sure is, as one of the fan favorites here, Jambalaya, 14-1, about to walk into the gate for jockey John O'Jones. Jambalaya just taking his spot as this gate is directly under me. Meteor Storm is still in behind the gate, along with a Yates and Gray Swallow, one of 2 grays in here, the other being Simonis. Yates is in. 4-1 on Yates, Meteor Storm, and Javier Castellano, who rode Ghost Zapper to a Horse of the Year title last year, and Gray Swallow and Pat Smullen, the last to load. They're at the post. They're off in the Pattison Canadian International. Gray Swallow toward the inside, Jambalaya, Last Dancer, and King's Drama are all showing early speed. And they head for the first turn. King's Drama on the outside, Last Dancer's in the center, end to the inside, Jambalaya, and Yates attends the pace from the outside. Then we have Meteor Storm and Strut the stage. Gray Swallow is down toward the rail as they make their way up to the backstretch. Electrocutionist is also down on the fence. Then Relaxed Gesture and Simonis is the early trailer. And it's King's Drama. John Velasquez is coddling King's Drama on a half a length advantage. Yates in a stalking position on the outside. Last Answer is third as they head into the backstretch. Jambalaya keeping close to the pace in fourth. Meteor Storm is back in fifth for Javier Castellano toward the hedge and 5 lengths off the lead. Then Strut the Stage and Gray Swallow break of close to 3 to Electrocutionist. Relaxed Jester keeping Electrocutionist down on the hedge, and Simonis is the trailer. King's Drama watched very closely by Yates. Yates getting a little scrub from Kieran Fallon midpoint of the backstretch. It's King's Drama by a neck. Yates pressing hard from the outside in second. Jambalaya back in third and 5.5 lengths off the lead. Last Answer is fourth and Meteor Storm is fifth. Electrocutionist to the inside, sixth, has 8 lengths to make up. Then we have Simonis, who's made up some ground. That one is followed by Gray Swallow. Relaxed Jester and Strut the Stage are the 2 trailers. Continuing that war on the front end, King's Drama and Yates. But here comes Meteor Storm on the outside to join them. Jambalaya's just in behind horses. Simonis has made up some ground. Gray Swallow has moved into a contending position, and Meteor Storm has come away with the lead at the head of the stretch. Meteor Storm, Gray Swallow's on the far outside. Simonis is right there. Jambalaya is set down. Relaxed Jester on the grandstand side. Electrocutionist is trying to close. They're in deep stretch now. Final 3/16 Meteor Storm on the outside. Here comes Relaxed Jester for Corey Nakatani. Relaxed Jester has taken the lead in the final furlong. Relaxed Jester is pouring it on. Final 16th of a mile. Relaxed Jester scores a resounding victory in the Pattison Canadian International. Meteor Storm holds for second, and Gray Swallow is third. Then Electrocution is followed by Simonis. Then King's Drama, Jambalaya, Yates Strut the Stage. Last Answer finished last. Nakatani, what a day. He loves Woodbine.
He scored earlier today in the Grade 2 $500,000 Nearctic Stakes with Steel Lights for Christophe Clement and these connections, and he comes right back here with Relaxed Jester. And this horse had a slingshot move around the far turn and was absolutely flying on the outside to win it, scoring at a price of 11-1. It was an upset as Electrocutionist could not get the victory, did not seem to be a happy camper here today with the giving going. Meteor Storms along the inside ran a courageous race, but it's Nakatani and Relaxed Jester. What a day for Christophe Clement and Mr. Nakatani here at Woodbine.
Sometimes you need a hand. Now eliminate static without the chemicals in ordinary dryer sheets with new, reusable, chemical-free, Natura static-free sheets, only at Home Hardware and Home Building Center. Static-free sheets control static, soften clothes, and reduce wrinkles for 500 dryer loads. Chemical-free, hypoallergenic, Natura static-free sheets, only at Home Hardware. Help is close to home.
Wow, you feel that? We're getting a workout today. Tell me about it.
Look alive, guys! Hit it!
Zoom, zoom.
All in favor of a car that drives like this and looks like that. Raise your hair. Wow. The 2006 Mazda 6 sedan, part of the award-winning Mazda 6 family.
Introducing Harvey's new grilled steak sandwich. Delicious. Real marinated steak garnished fresh on a toasted panini bun. One of 5 new toasted sandwiches at Harvey's.
All the way from the craftsmanship to the perfect pour. All the way from its introduction to becoming the #1 light beer in the world. All the way from an exacting brewing process to the easy drinking taste. All the way from the line to inside the club. All the way from the brewmaster to the bartender. When it goes down this smooth, make it a Bud Light. Smooth all the way.
I had a really good time tonight.
Me too.
Smell great longer, stay out later with new Red Zone After Hours body spray.
Have a nice day, ladies. Good morning, Mr. Fisher. Good morning, Mr. Ryan. Good morning, Miss Keaton. Good night, Mr. Morgan.
Smell great longer, stay out later with new Red Zone After Hours body spray.
What a powerful display put on by Relaxed Gesture, as this is racing's newest millionaire. The 4-year-olds by Indian Ridge picks up lifetime score number 4, and so far this season in 7 starts has 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 1 third-place finish. This guy is as consistent as they come. I've seen some turns of foot in my day, but boy, was this horse ever flying on the outside. And Jim, it seems like those outside moves have worked effectively so far here today at Woodbine. You go back to the EP Taylor, the horse that won that race, used an outside move, and that's exactly what this horse did as well.
We've seen several jockeys this season at Woodbine stay away from the inside and take the outside path. Jono Jones sort of clued us into that. It's been a great day for this stable, who also won the Nearctic. That's Christophe Clement in the foreground, and Corey Nakatani, who had a great time of it here in '96 when the Breeders' Cup was at Woodbine, when he won a couple of events. And the Moigler stud from County Kildare, Walter Hafner, obviously has done great things with his horses. Now, this is a horse that was being overshadowed in New York, and many people thought he wasn't quite good enough. One of the horses that campaigned in Europe wasn't quite good enough for there, but he's come to North America and he has made his mark, and I'm sure that this result will have a ripple effect for the Breeders' Cup, that the European horses were not quite good enough today.
There is an inquiry as we speak. The inquiry sign has been posted on the board. This horse seems to be safe at this point. The inquiry is on the 2-horse Gray Swallow and the 3 Electrocutionist, and we'll take a look shortly at some video for you. This is the head-on at the top of the stretch, Jim. Did you see anything?
Well, they were bunching, and they were strung along the track. As a matter of fact, Electrocutionist had made his run first, and the number 4 horse had come to the outside of him, Relaxed Gesture. So here is Electrocutionist right here, and here is the eventual winner, and the number 2 horse sits right in this spot. So as we come up to the top of the stretch now, we're looking at this incident right here. And I think that it looks rather innocent. What has happened here is Gray Swallow has come out a bit, and the number 4 horse has come in a bit. I don't think it had bothered the number 3 horse, the favorite, all that significantly, but we'll let the stewards decide that. So once again, as they come into the stretch, Electrocutionist is between horses, loses his path only momentarily, as the number 4 horse Relaxed Gesture comes in a bit, and the number 2 horse Gray Swallow comes out a bit. Corey Nakatani will have to get off his horse here because the stewards will need to talk to him. That's North American practice.
Relaxed Gesture, the winner of today's Pattison Canadian International unofficially, and we have a good close-up view of this incident, Jim, for racing fans as well.
Well, we'll take a look again, and we'll look right here as obviously Electrocutionist loses his path. He doesn't lose his momentum, I don't think. But obviously there's a lot of money on the line here. And, oh, I see. You know what happened here? I think the 2 actually hit the 3 in the head here. If you just back that up a bit, I saw another incident beside that other one. The jockey of the number 2, I believe, has struck the number 3 in the snout with his whip through the stretch. We had a disqualification for something like this in the Addo Mile a few years ago. Watch very closely here. You'll see the whip of the 2, and you'll see the number 3 horse snatch his head. Just watch right here as we watch Pat Smullen take his whip out, and there he brushes it across the nose and hits him on the face. That in this country is a foul punishable by a disqualification.
That was some great video right there, so the stewards will likely make a disqualification here at Woodbine, but we'll get to that in a couple of seconds. But first of all, let's learn more about the second-place finisher in this race, Meteor Storm, who ran a heck of a race, Sandy.
Well, I have jockey Javier Castellan. You rode a great race. Looked like you had it won at the head of the stretch.
Yeah, I thought I have it. You know, my horse, he got tired a little bit in the end. He rode a huge race, and I'm really happy with him, you know. And I have a good trip in the race, have a feel comfortable with him. I thought, you know, the soft turf, you know, I think he bothered a little bit, but he showed today he have a lot of class. He handled very well. I thought at one moment I feel like I can win the race in the top of the quarter. But unfortunately, you know, the other horse, he passed me, he won. My horse runs second best today.
Well, great ride, Javier, and good luck with this horse in the future.
Thank you very much.
Jeff?
Okay, thank you very much, Sandy, as we get set for the presentation to be made here by our great friends at Pattison Outdoor Advertising. And this is just a huge day for Corey Nakatani and Christophe Clements, the whole ownership group here involved with this horse. They've done a great job getting this horse ready for the races. And it's not like this horse has not won a lot of races already in his career, because he has. I'm always curious, Jim, about the late pace in a race. You mentioned in the EP Tour that late pace was just fantastic. How strong was late pace in today's race at the Pattison Canadian International?
It's about average, Jeff. 26-3 for the last quarter, and the previous quarter 25-4.
And we're going to catch up here with the winning connections in just a couple of seconds as the presentation has been made here, and we'll catch up with Corey Nakatani and Christophe Clements. And we're going to catch up here as we come up here as they finish some photos, and we'll grab some of the winning connections right now. Congratulations, a job well done by everybody involved. Christophe Clements, the winning trainer, and we do have the winning rider here, Corey Nakatani, as well. We're just going to get you guys to turn around right here because our camera's right there. I don't know why you don't move your tack here to Woodbine, because in 1996, Breeders' Day, you won 2 races. Breeders' Cup Day was a huge success. Earlier today, you won the Arctic Stakes as well with Steel Lights. Let's talk about Relaxed Jester, the horse that you rode to victory here. It was a very impressive performance. A great turn of foot this horse showed for you today.
Yes, he did. He handled it very well, and that's a tribute to what Chris has done with him. Last time it was at Belmont, and we tried a little bit of different strategy, and my main concern today was just to get him to relax and to make sure he'd have a big kick, and he did.
Now, were you at all concerned about going so wide there around the far turn?
I wasn't too worried about it. He was going so well underneath me. I was very patient. I was just turning from him. I was still waiting, and I went by everybody and made sure that I put him all away, and he was much the best.
Now, you rode him last time. Did he seem to thrive with the giving going compared to the last time out when the turf course was so firm?
Well, like I said, I made a mistake, I believe, last time. So I let him run out of there and stuck him into the race, and the turf was real firm at Belmont. So today I wasn't going to make any mistakes, and I learned from my last time. So he was much the best today and ran a big race.
Congratulations on the victory. Way to go, and the Woodbine success continues for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's now bring in Christophe Clements. Way to go, Mr. Clements. I mean, just a huge training job here done by not only this horse and your entire crew, but the horse that we saw in the Arctic as well. I thought that horse ran a better race too. Your decision to come here to Woodbine, how exactly did that game plan unfold for you?
But I like to be cold and I like to be wet. Now, the reason why we came here is that the sprint was, the only sprint worth that much money at that time of the year. And we decided to come to the International instead of the Breeders' Cup, just because we thought we had a better chance to win it here, and it worked out.
Now, what were your thoughts during the race? Because he did make that big move around the far turn.
Yeah, but he relaxed him early on, so I mean, it didn't matter if you were inside or outside, or as long as you got the horse relaxed early on softer turf, usually they always finished. He was going very well. I didn't know if he was going to finish all the way, because the mile and a half was a bit of a concern on that turf, but obviously he did.
What about just the overall consistency of this horse? I mean, 7 starts now, the horse hasn't missed the board yet.
He's a good horse.
That he certainly is, and you're a very darn good trainer. Congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you very much.
Christophe Clements and Corey Nakatani, they team up with a very nice horse today here at a big price. It was Relaxed Jester.
We're still awaiting the steward's decision on the inquiry involving number 2, Grey Swallow, and number 3, Electrocutionist. We will have that decision when we come back, as we have one more look at the first place finisher. This is Relaxed Jester.
Hey, Ed. Check this out. Nice. Think that's a good idea? Why not?
Ice cold Coors Light, the silver bullet.
Good food, good company, good conversation. Put it together at Kelsey's and come in right now and try some great seasonal taste for the whole family from our new flavors of fall menu. Kelsey's, your table's ready.
Of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
all-new 2006 Suzuki Grand Vitara. Completely redesigned from $24,495.
From flashlights to MP3 players, from stereos to cordless phones, it's quality you can count on. Next Tech, what you need for fun. Available at the source by Circuit City.
The extending Swiffer Duster's fluffy fibers trap and lock dust wherever it settles.
It's like a dust magnet. What are you doing?
Wherever dust goes, Swiffer Duster. It's like a dust magnet.
For men, competition starts early and continues 24/7. That's why they developed new Speed Stick 24/7 antiperspirant. With microabsorber technology, its powerful particles can absorb up to 100 times their own weight and wetness to help keep you dry 24/7. So you can be ready for even the most demanding competition. New Speed Stick 24/7. It never quits. Just a reminder, coming up next, right here on the score, it's NFL Blitz with Ryan Payton and I. A nail-biting finish in the Packers and the Vikings, also the Chargers and the Eagles going down to the wire, and the Pittsburgh Steelers knocking off the Cincinnati Bengals. All your highlights coming up just in moments right here on the score.
The drama continues here at Woodbine. Not only do we have one inquiry, we've now received word that there are 2 inquiries, but still at this point it looks like Relaxed Jester will be the official winner, but stay tuned to find out. Jim, what exactly is the second incident that we're now going to look at?
Assistant trainer of Simonis has lodged a claim of foul against the number 2 Gray Swallow, so we've got all kinds of difficulties here. Here's the one bit of crowding that is one of the problems, but the other more significant problem is when the rider, Pat Smullen, comes right out here. Watch the head, boom, right there, of Electrocutionist. He just jerks it because it looks like he's been smacked in the snout with the whip. Might be different in Europe, but here we've obviously disqualified horses in the past for that. Hawksley Hill comes to mind as an individual, and we're going to get the results of the inquiries coming up. Dan Loisel is now just letting the betting public know that inquiry with the whip on the face of Electrocutionist obviously was very significant. So, Jeff, what are the conclusions of the stewards?
I'm not sure at this point, Jim. As soon as we find out, we will pass it along to you. I'm just waiting to receive word from our producer upstairs, and as soon as we do find it out, we will pass it along to you. He has been disqualified?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So the disqualification for the whip incident has taken place. Electrocutionist has now been placed 3rd. Gray Swallow has now been placed 4th, but the inquiry is still on top for the other horses that were involved in the second inquiry that we have going on as we speak. It seems like here at Woodbine, with this race in the past, we've had inquiries because it can be a roughly run race, and today was no exception.